You're listening to The Jim Price Show.
My name is Logan, and I'm listening to The Jim Price Show.
I'm Jim Price, and this is The Jim Price Show. I do appreciate you guys all tuning in. I'd like to introduce myself as The Jim Price Show, right? That's what we started out with. We call it The Jim Price Show over and over again. Let's go to thejimpriceshow.com and sign up for subscriptions, notifications of different things going on with the show. I'm talking about selflessness and not selfishness. That's what we always compare everything to see where people are at, what the barometer of their actions really are. And when you look at the people that are going around telling you how much they're your leaders, they're the people who are in charge, the ones that should be telling you what to do. I don't know. I went in and started looking at my Constitution, and I realized that they're full of it. And not kind of full of it, I mean a whole lot of full of it. And I wanted to go through a couple things, and we could take that time today to actually sit down and say, you know what, I want to know more about, I don't know, what it is this guy's talking about. So let's look at this. Let's say we want to look at our Constitution. Let's look at the people who are out there stepping all over it. And why is the Constitution so important? Well, it really defines our God-given rights. It says that God gives us our rights as human beings, not other human beings. The Constitution actually limits the government, not us. All state constitutions are actually reciprocal one to the other, meaning that they're all the same. That what rights you have in one state is the same rights you have in another state. In other words, when I say rights, understand, think about this for a second. When I said rights, I was talking about what the government can even start to look at, or what they shouldn't even be looking at when it comes to your actions and the things you want to do. So your rights aren't laws for you to act a certain way. They are rules and laws for the government to stay out of your business. And too many times we run past all those things. So we look at the potato in chief running around talking about how amazing this is and that is, but wait, none of that is amazing. None of that is great. All the things that he's saying, he takes all these different liberties with words and actions and tries to tell us what he thinks we can do with a mandate. Well, as far as I can tell, the only thing a mandate really is where two guys get together and have a beer. Because I don't think anywhere that I can find mandates mean anything. So let's go ahead and look at mandate meaning according to Black's dictionary. Okay? Think about this. A written command given by an authority to an agent, a member of the public, a person that's like me and you. Contract by which one person requests other person to agree voluntarily to a service. Now think about this. It's a contract between two people saying, hey, I want you to do something and you're going to voluntarily do it. Let's see. And it only becomes effective when the mandatory agrees. So in other words, you're the mandatory. In other words, if you agree to these, then it becomes effective. But if you don't agree to the mandates, if you don't agree to these things, then there's no effectiveness because there is nothing there. There's no recourse. Only mandatory once you agree to do it. Have you agreed to do it? If you haven't agreed to do it, do you see how this stuff matters? Do you see what I'm talking about here? Anyway, let's go on. Only mandatory once you agree to do it. If you do not consent to the request, you are not obligated under the mandate to comply. That's it. We're done. There's a difference between a mandate and a law. This is Black's dictionary. Black's Law Dictionary is actually a very, 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 very effective tool to look at how you should actually respond to things in your life, especially when it comes to people running around saying, well, that's the law, or that's an ordinance, or it's a guideline, or whatever it is they want to come up with. In this definition right here, in Black's Law Dictionary, you don't have to listen to anything that the potato in chief is out there telling you. Oh, if you got 100 employees, you got to make sure and get the old in the arm. No, that doesn't Just because he decided to run his mouth doesn't mean you do anything. I'm just trying to figure this out. So let me ask you a question. If I were to tell you today, you know what, guys, listen. According to Jim Price, everybody needs to just stop wearing clothes. I'm mandating that everybody on earth quit wearing clothes. Now, my authority, I'm telling you, by my authority, by who I am, I'm telling you that this is a mandate. I'm telling you what to do. This is a mandate. You got to listen to me, because I'm saying it's a mandate that all people on earth quit wearing clothes. Now, first of all, you're going to say, well, first of all, Jim, I don't know you, and you don't have an official office. Nobody's elected you, so you can't command me to do anything. By the way, all people that you elect are your servants. These are not people you have to subjugate, meaning giving your power over to them. You don't have to give over to them. They are your public servants, your mayor, your city council, your police chief, your sheriff, your governor, your state senator, your house rep, your federal senator, your federal house rep, your anything. They are all your servants. They have actually less liberties and freedoms than you do. And people don't think about that. Well, I talk about individual freedoms and individual liberties all day long, but when you become a public servant, you no longer have the same rights and privileges as being a free man. Now, shame on you if you didn't know that, but that's all right. We weren't taught that. We weren't taught to think that way. We weren't, right? Shame on you? Well, that's a little tough. Maybe I should have said, well, you need to check into your information. You need to be better about this, but that's okay. But let's go one step further here with the old potato in chief and the mandate thing, right? Let's talk about that for a second. How about all political power is inherent in the people, and all free governments are founded on their authority and are instituted for their equal protection and benefit? So why are we giving in to mandates? Why are we giving in to these requests? Why does the potato in chief say, oh, well, you need to have 100 employees, you got to have everybody, I'm her husband. Do you understand what I'm talking about here? It doesn't make any sense. And if I told you guys I mandate that all human beings on earth quit wearing clothes, nobody's listening to me, but for some reason you think that your elected officials are somehow your gods. Somehow the authority in your life to tell you exactly how you should and shouldn't run your life. And I don't understand why we do that. Why do we, where do we give that in? Because I can't find it. This is the Bill of Rights, and you could look at different states. They all read exactly the same. You can read one state after another state talking about political power and privileges. All political power is inherent in the people. Look at your state constitution. Now, how many of you out there, honestly, raise a hand? And I'm watching. How many of you guys out there, raise a hand, have actually read the Bill of Rights to the state you live in? Come on, let's see them. I want to start counting here. I got the old magic two-way TV going here. No, I don't have that. I'm just kidding. The problem is I don't think we're going to see very many people actually raise their hand, because this is a real problem in our society, that we're not actually demonstrating or putting into practice our own Bill of Rights. So anyway, let's go back and read it one more time, just so I want to make sure we're getting this, okay? I want you to start digesting this. The word all, A-L-L, all political power. Now, so if a politician has political power, that because we're telling them you're our servant, we want you to go represent us, we want you to vote for us. All political power is inherent in the people. Oh wait, now hold on a second. If you're my representative, but wait, your political power is inherent in me, meaning it's in me. So you only get your political power from me. So in other words, you need to do what I tell you to do. Okay, so let's go on a little further. And all free governments are founded on their authority, and the people's authority. We the people, our authority, right? And are instituted for their equal protection and benefit. In other words, government, stay out of my business. You are to only benefit me and protect me, but not to tell me whether I should have a seatbelt on my truck or not, whether or not I should have this, or whether I should have that, or whether I should be putting in medications that are unproven into my body because you have a fear of something that's a fart in the wind. Ooh, this fart in the wind's going to kill you. Why? Is it? Are you sure? Because according to everything that they've told us for the last 20 months, I should have been dead 20 million times over. I should have died so many times. I got good at it. That dying is a part of what I do. But I haven't. And in fact, I've been very, very resistant. I've been very, very standoffish. I've been very, very belligerent. Why? Because I can. Because I want to. Because if I want to die of the fart in the wind, then I'm going to die of the fart in the wind. I'm not going to worry about it. Why do I need to worry about something that they can't even find in a microscope and tell us how to test for it? You know, the PCR test that they always talk about, that is, there's these positive tests. The PCR test, if you want to break it down, keep it simple, stupid, KISS, right? The acronym, keep it simple, stupid. You want to break it down to the least common denominator. The least common denominator of this whole thing is that this whole PCR test can only test for the proteins that are sloughed off during virus, bacterial, and cancer fights in your body. So if you have cancer, you're going to test positive in your PCR test. Well, I tested positive for COVID. Did you? If you have a bacterial infection, you're going to test positive on PCR. Well, I have COVID. No, maybe you have a bladder infection. Well, I have my PCR test said I was. Well, what if you had a fungus? And that was thrown. But maybe you have a fungus and you don't have a positive test. See, this is the problem, that we don't even understand the science because it's so complicated, and they keep moving the goalpost all over the place, right? It's all over. I'm like, I don't know which way is up anymore. Oh, my goodness. But here's the thing. I'm waiting for this whole thing where we're all of us unsafe, horrible human beings running around there doing whatever it is I have been doing that's been so unsafe that, I don't know, just living my life like I always have. Why am I not dead? Why am I not bleeding profusely from my eyes, or my fingers have fallen off, or I've got something going, right? Why has that not happened? Because the problem is, folks, we quit having the flu last year. We quit having common sense, and we all got scared of something because they told us it was going to kill us. Now, guys, I'm going to let you in on a little secret here. And this is scientifically proven. You cannot refute this. This is hard, fast facts right here. You're going to hear a hard, fast fact that you cannot get around. The leading cause of death is birth. What you do between, that's up to you. But I'm telling you right now, you got to think about that. I say it all the time. The leading cause of death is birth. But you know that they're actually out there running around and they're killing 50 million unborn children every year on this globe that they're willing to tell you about. They're killing 50 million children every year on this globe that they're willing to tell you about. But you think that fart in the wind's your problem? These are doctors taking children out of the mother's body and killing them. Killing them. Why is that okay? Oh, because there's privacy between a patient and the doctor. According to Roe versus Wade, which was a privacy issue, it had nothing to do with actually legalizing one procedure over another. It was just the privacy, but what happens between a doctor and a patient, which I think privacy is great. But I also think life has value. We don't want to talk about that, right? Because that's, I don't know. That's not what I heard. Well, the problem is that I'm talking about things in real time. I'm talking about real facts. I'm reading things from your Bill of Rights, and you haven't even read your own Bill of Rights, which is usually only about 24, 25, maybe 30 sentences. I mean, it's really not that long. Section 2 of the Kansas Bill of Rights, it says, all political power is inherent in the people, and all free governments are founded on their authority and are instituted for their equal protection and benefit. Guys, this was written 100 years after the federal Constitution was written, and this mimics what the federal Constitution talks about. And it mimics all the other Bill of Rights of all the other states as well. See, I don't understand why we give away so much power. Why do we want to do that? Why do we want to give over power? Why do we want to give away power? I don't understand that. Why? Do you got to get some extra jewels in your crown when you get to heaven because you gave over your life to let someone run it? If I understand right, when we're talking about biblical terms here, I don't think Jesus ever told you to subjugate, giving over your power to somebody else. I don't think he ever talked about like that. I don't think God in his word has ever said anything of those things. But here we are. We got this problem, right? So here, let's move on a little bit further. Let's talk about privileges that these potato and chief runs around and says, well, I'm above all that. I don't have to listen to you. I'll just open up that border there and let people roll over here that I have no idea who they are. I'm going to let people into my house that I have no idea. This is our house. This is our country. And yet we're going to let people run in here without any announcement, without any identification, without any... Oh, by the way, they've now made another announcement. They're going to give up to $450,000 per person or $1 million per family if you come into our country illegally. So if you break into my house, I'm going to give you $450,000? Where did that come from? How do people think of this? I mean, if you sit down, I was like... I want to do something for those people coming over. I want to do something special. I'm going to give them, somewhere around $500,000. Hey, Americans, let me ask you a question. When was the last time anybody offered to just give you $500,000? I mean, seriously, think about that for a second. When has anybody ever said, hey, they're not even doing that for the old in the arm, right? They're not, they're not giving you $500,000. In fact, they gave themselves immunity at the manufacturing, distribution, and administration levels, the people who administer this. So the doctors, the nurses, the hospitals, the suppliers, the supply chain, the manufacturers, they all have immunity to you suing them. You can't even sue them for this vaccine for any damages like you can for other ones. So why is that okay? I don't know, because right here, let me read one thing here, and let's go ahead. I'm gonna move away. I'm gonna move on this. I'm gonna show you this right here. It says, no special privileges or immunity shall ever be granted by the legislator. Well, how can you give manufacturers and distributors and administrative ministers of this in the arm immunity if it says right here, no special privileges or immunity shall ever be granted by the legislator, which may not be altered, revoked, or repealed by the same body. And this power shall be exercised by no other tribunal or agency. In other words, no court of record and no dog catcher, no agencies, no bureaucracy within the government. So this is a real thing. This is something we have to pay attention to. So I'm reading right here in the Bill of Rights. It says, no special privileges or immunities shall ever be granted by the legislator, which may not be revoked. Oh, man, I'm slaying it today. No special privileges or immunities shall ever be granted by the legislator, which may not be altered, revoked, or repealed by the same body. And this power shall be exercised by no other tribunal or agency. Court of record. By the way, guys, I'm going to give you a little task. I'm going to give you a little homework here, and I want you guys to look into this. Why do judges wear black robes into your courtrooms in America? And look up the acronym Bar Association. Bar. What does the Bar Association really stand for? And I want you guys to look at that, because I'll answer that probably in the next show or two here. I'm going to talk about those things. But this is the first one we're going to be doing out there. And I want you guys to get a little bit of a groundwork of who I am and what I talk about selflessness and selfishness. And it looks like we got a lot of people being very selfish in our government. The potato chief's telling you to do something he wants you to do because of his moral standards, not because of yours. So let's go back here a little bit. It says here, no special privileges or immunities shall ever be granted by the legislator, which may not be altered, revoked, or repealed by the same body. And this power shall be exercised by no other tribunal or agency. Wow. Now, let's go to this next one. It's kind of neat how this builds together. So we got these different sections here. So let's go to this next one. It's talking about the right of peaceable assembly and petition. The people have the right to assemble in a peaceable manner to consult for their common good. Church, gun club, Rotary, Shriners, whatever it is you're going to do, right? To instruct their representatives. Whoa! So my gun club can get together and talk about how I want to instruct my representatives, my servant representatives, on what I want them to do. It says it right here. It says, government, listen, these people are going to get together, they're going to talk about you, and then they're going to tell you what to do. Oh, that's pretty cool. And they have the right to petition the government or any department thereof for the redress of your grievance. So if you got a problem, you don't like the fact they want you to put leashes on your cats now. You got to have a leash law for cats. You can go and say, you know what, guys, I'm going to get a few of us together. You guys, hey, do you guys like this leash law for cats? No, I don't like it. All right, so let's talk about, we're going to write a petition. Doesn't mean something you sign. It's actually a document you create to tell them or instruct your representatives on what you want them to do. So I was, a few months ago, I wrote out the affidavit for the full forensic audit for the state of Kansas. And I don't understand, like, this full forensic audit should be effectively hitting every county in this country. Every county in this country, you know, they should be looking into this. And I'm finding out more and more about these different things in Arizona and Georgia, Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio, that there are 20-some states actually right now going through a full forensic audit, and I don't know why it's taking so long for some to get this off the ground. All it is we want to check and see if the voter rolls are accurate. We want to make sure that the machines are accurate, and then we want to make sure the paper is accurate, and they all blend together. They all match. Matchy, same, right? They all come together. They zip right together, and I can undo it, and I can put it back. That's what forensic means, is to be able to repeat the process with the same outcome over and over again. But we can't, right? So my problem is I don't think we actually understand what we actually have when our forefathers went ahead and wrote a love letter to us, keeping the government at bay. Because it says right here that all men are possessed of equal and inalienable natural rights, which are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Now, what does an inalienable mean? Inalienable. Well, it's a tongue twister. It's really hard to always get that one right. So inalienable. All men are possessed of equal and inalienable natural right. Natural, God-given rights. Okay, this is real. All state constitutions are reciprocal one to another, and the federal government upholds the state constitution. They are not over the state constitution. They uphold or reinforce the states. The states' individual rights come first before the federal government. There's only two tasks within the federal government: immigration and national security. No, Homeland Security, that doesn't count. TSA, when they got to pat down. You know what, guys, going through TSA at the airport is no different than going to county jail. It's the exact same process. Take your shoes off, take your belt off, go through a scanner, and then they pat you down anyway. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. It's all right. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. It's no different than going to county jail. Going to county jail and getting on an airplane is the same thing. Boy, I can't wait to get on an airplane. Maybe that's why I've chosen to start driving everywhere now. I mean, I had a conference I had to go to in Utah last week, and I drove all the way there, 15 hours. Because I did not want to get on a plane and drive or fly. It was actually probably the same money or maybe even cheaper to fly. But I didn't, because I don't want to put on the stupid diaper on my face. I don't want to have to sit there and put myself into some slavery pose for these people to make, to have this, usurped power over me. Ooh, wear your mask, wear your mask. Why? Why do I need to do that? Why do I need to get the old in the arm? I mean, I'm a disabled vet. And I remember when I was in basic training, they gave us 15 different shots with this air gun, and I have no idea what was in them. And that's how we should be just treating the general public, because they're so stupid that these other people get just to make wild decisions of what we're going to put in your body as some type of experiment, some kind of Nazi weird little genetic modification crap that they like to do. Why is that okay? And why are we doing that to our kids? Why are we doing that at all? We should really be rethinking a lot of these things, because I'm telling you right now, there's nothing that's coming out anytime soon that I can see that is making sense about what we've been doing. We've been doing things wrong for so long. We've been lied to for so long. We really have to reset. We got to reset the perception, the angle, okay? And the perspective. So I guess I got that all wrong. The perspective. I got to change the angle in which I'm looking at it, and I got to change the perception, that process in which I think of things. I need to change those things. This is what I got to do. This is the world I have to start looking at differently, thinking differently about. I got to look at it, and then I got to process it, and I got to say, you know what? BS. I'm not going for this. I'm out. Time out. I'm good. So, guys, listen to me. I know this is the first time we've talked, and this is the first show you guys have seen, but we're going to be talking about these things going on. We're going to be talking about the events coming up in the days to come, the months to come, the years to come, because, guys, we have to actually, the knowledge that we can have is power. Too many times those things we're using cliche, oh, knowledge is power. But in reality, you have to have real knowledge and real understanding to be able to use this in your daily life and understand what this world is really about. And the fact that there are a lot of evil people out there doing a lot of horrible things to this world. And we don't need to be a part of it. We can continue to grow our own crops. We can raise our own livestock. We can have our own chickens. We can have our cat off a leash because that's what we choose to do. Freedom of the body. Freedom of the mind. So we got freedom, individual freedoms, individual liberties. My liberty is whatever I think of as what I want to do. That's the freedom of my mind. And the freedom of my body, that's up to me, not yours, not your decision, not somebody that I've elected to tell me what to do. They are my servant, and I am their boss. Period. Full stop. And we have to think of things differently. We have to really step back and quit subjugating ourselves to things that we really don't have to. So I do appreciate you guys' time on all these things I've been talking about. I kind of ran across some stuff, and we're going to get more into this, more involved about some stuff that really hits home for me. And I want you guys to understand that I am here to talk about the 10%, what you do for your neighbor, your community, your city, your county, state, the federal government. The more you do for them, the less they have to do for you. So let's learn how to be selfless and not so selfish. The world will be a far better place. The JimPriceShow.com is my website. You can email me, JimPrice@thejimpriceshow.com anytime you like. JimPrice@thejimpriceshow.com is the easiest way to get a hold of me, or go to my website, sign up for notifications or subscription there. Thank you so much for all your time, guys. If you guys need anything, like I said, get a hold of me. I'm Jim Price.